Beloved soul, what I am about to reveal to you may leave you breathless. If you find yourself watching this message, it is no coincidence. For over 300 years, the universe has been searching for you, and at last, you have been discovered. The cosmos has led you here because something monumental is blossoming in your life. You are the lost royal heir, and your destiny is now awakening. The desires you've been longing for, the hopes you've been nurturing, and the dreams you've been awaiting are no longer distant illusions. They are on the verge of becoming your reality. This isn't simply a shift in perspective. This is you reclaiming your divine birthright. As the chosen one, you are about to witness wonders materializing in ways you never believed possible. However, you must understand the process required to align with this profound transformation and fully embrace the manifestation of your royal legacy. Before we dive deeper into this life-altering message, pause for a moment and do these 3 things. Hit that like button, subscribe to Chosen One Sanctuary to help us reach 40,000 souls, and leave a comment with the number 11. This number will send a powerful signal to the universe, amplifying the energy of this message. Remember, if you truly identify as the Chosen One, you will watch this message to its conclusion, because deep down, your spirit recognizes that this message is meant for you. If you are not ready to embrace this truth, you may not make it to the end. But for those who do, be prepared for your life to be transformed forever. Now, let us unravel the truth of your identity. For years, the people of the kingdom have lived beneath the shadow of a broken promise. The throne, once a beacon of strength and justice, now stands vacated, abandoned by the true ruler who vanished long ago. In their absence, false leaders arose, claiming dominion over a populace that has endured long years of suffering under their rule. Yet, despite the years of oppression, the hearts of the people have never faltered. They continue to believe in the myth of the true ruler, the one prophesied to return and restore harmony. The kingdom may have lost sight of its rightful heir, but the heir has never lost sight of the kingdom. Each generation has been raised under the same untruth, that the heir was mere folklore, a fairy tale meant to placate the masses. Yet deep down, the people understood the truth. They felt the whispers of the heir's forthcoming arrival, echoing through every home, every street, every heart. In those who dared to dream, the hope for a brighter tomorrow never perished. The promise of justice from a ruler who would mend the wounds of the past kept the flame of hope alive, even in the darkest of times. The heir's arrival will usher in more than just a shift in leadership. It will reignite the very essence of the kingdom. The people, weary of living in the shadows of tyranny, will rise in solidarity, welcoming the one they have awaited for all their lives. The heir will not feel like a stranger. They have always been woven into the kingdom's narrative. The land itself will welcome the heir back, and the winds will carry the melodies of old, singing of an era when hope was not just a fleeting memory, but a living, breathing reality. The true ruler has returned, and with their return, a new epoch begins. However, as the heir steps forward, the old order will not surrender gracefully. The false rulers, entrenched in their authority, will resist fiercely, wielding every tool at their disposal. They are aware their time is limited, and they will not retreat quietly into the night. But the people, the true strength of the kingdom, will stand united with their rightful leader. The heir's arrival signifies the dawn of the end for the old guard. The winds of change are stirring, and no amount of resistance can alter this course. For centuries, the world has felt an unsettling energy, a force that seemed just out of reach. This potent energy has lingered just beyond the cusp of perception. Rulers, the powerful, and the elite may not have known the identity of the heir, but they all sensed it. The lost heir cast a shadow over every choice, every power struggle, every shift in the winds of change. Though unseen, their presence was always felt, silently guiding the course of destiny. In the halls of monarchs and among generals and advisors, an unvoiced tension simmered, a quiet fear that heightened with each passing year. The heir, though cloaked in obscurity, was always there, their influence subtly growing. In countless battles, wars, and political maneuvers, there lingered the awareness that the heir not only observed, but also prepared. Their absence bred a false sense of control among the ruling elite, yet deep inside, they always knew the truth. That power was never truly theirs to hold. The heir's influence flowed like an undercurrent, shaping events and steering the wheels of destiny, unseen but never forgotten. Their power was akin to a rising tide, ever present yet elusive. It represented the very forces of nature, shaking the world's foundations as it gathered strength. Those wise enough understood that the heir would one day burst forth, bringing a tempest of change with them. The heir's very presence serves as a promise, a quiet vow that the rightful ruler would not remain concealed forever. The world could ignore them for a time, but the inevitable was closing in as the heir's time approached, heralding the upheaval the world so profoundly needs. The heir was not merely an unseen presence, they embodied the essence of destiny. As they move closer to reclaiming their throne, the world will no longer be able to deny their existence. The old order will crumble beneath the weight of a long-hidden truth, one that has always been in plain sight. The heir is coming, and change is about to erupt. Their power, once felt only in the gentle sighs of the wind, will soon shine forth in actions that reshape the very world. The fate of the kingdom has always been woven into forces greater than those in power can comprehend. For years, the ruling elite believed they sculpted the kingdom's future according to their desires. But as time unfolded, cracks formed in their carefully crafted facade. The people, once lulled into complacency, began to question the authority that had held them captive. They sensed a stirring within the land, an unexplainable energy that resonated with immense potential. This unseen force was not susceptible to the king's laws or emperor's whims. It could not be constrained by wealth or military might. It represented the power of destiny, patiently awaiting the right moment to awaken. The kingdom's rulers, lost in their illusion of invincibility, remained unaware that their grasp on authority was unraveling thanks to something far beyond their limited understanding. This unseen force was not transient. It was an ever-growing influence, slowly molding the future. With each passing moment, the heir's presence strengthened, and tremors coursed through the kingdom. The perceived invincibility of the ruling class began to fray, while the people, though unaware of the intricacies of this power shift, could feel the air change as though the world was on the verge of reorientation. What was once certain became uncertain. The kingdom's fate had always been intricately tied to the heir. With their return, the kingdom would be reconstructed, restructured, and realigned. The forces that once ruled with an iron fist would find their grip loosening as the heir's presence became undeniably felt. The coming of the heir signifies more than just a new ruler. It marks a profound awakening for the entire kingdom. This is not merely a royal return, it is a reckoning, a rediscovery of identity. The heir will bring with them not only the promise of a new era, but also the power to restore a balance to a world on the brink of collapse. The unseen force guiding the kingdom's destiny will finally emerge with strength, bringing with it a wave of revival. The era of silence has come to a close. For too long, the heir's existence remained a guarded secret, only whispered of in the most discreet corners of the kingdom. Now, the heir steps into the light, emerging from the shadows where they have patiently awaited this moment. The world that once doubted their existence must now confront the undeniable truth. With each step the heir takes, they shatter the illusions of control that others have clung to. The realm will transform, for they shall rise and reclaim what has always belonged to them. Their emergence will create a ripple effect across the lands, much like the first rumble of thunder accompanying an approaching storm. As they take their rightful place, the heir embodies something far greater than a single individual. They carry the weight of centuries of lost hopes and kingdoms undone by tyranny and fear. Yet in their gaze lies not vengeance, but a deep sense of purpose, an understanding of the restoration required. As they rise, the land itself seems to come alive again, revitalized by the promise of justice and the rekindling of a long-lost era. This tale no longer tells of a solitary figure in pursuit of power. It is the story of the kingdom's collective awakening. Hearts from every walk of life, those who have suffered, those who have shown resilience, will find their voices united in the heir's return. The heir is more than a ruler. They are a symbol, a beacon of hope for the oppressed, the forgotten, and the dreamers. Their arrival stirs something profound within the souls of the people, igniting action, rebellion, and a resolute reclaiming of all that was lost. Born in shadow, now embraces the light as their own. Yet, with their ascent, comes the inevitable confrontation. The forces that once ruled with an iron grip will not relinquish their power easily. They will employ every tactic, every weapon at their disposal, to obstruct the heir from claiming their rightful throne. However, the heir transcends mere royalty. They are a force of destiny, and fate will not be denied. The era of shadows has waned. The world will soon witness the full might of the royal heir, and nothing will hinder their path. The old order stands upon a foundation of deceit and manipulation, now teetering on the edge of collapse. Those who once wielded power with ruthless authority, commanding armies and shaping destinies with a mere flicker of a hand, now tremble in fear. Their grip on the kingdom is loosening, and they will stop at nothing to maintain control. The heir's return threatens to unravel their carefully constructed world, and in their panic, they will resort to any measure necessary to safeguard their crumbling empire. Tension pervades the palace halls and grips the hearts of those who once believed themselves invincible. The mere presence of the heir poses an existential threat to everything they have worked to preserve. They recognize that they cannot defeat the heir through traditional force or armies. This battle is different. It is a war of wills, a struggle for the very soul of the kingdom. The old guard will engage in deceit and treachery, wielding manipulation as a weapon to undermine the heir's claim. But with every move they make, they deepen their own vulnerabilities, revealing the truth to the people. Yet, as they grapple with their own decline, the old rulers divulge a vital truth: their inability to adapt, to evolve. They embody an ancient way of thought, rooted in fear, control, and subjugation. The heir, however, heralds the dawn of a new era, a future where power is not seized through oppression, but earned through wisdom, compassion, and justice. The old order's stubbornness to change will only accelerate their own demise. As the heir rises, the very structure that once enabled their dominance begins to fracture. With each crack, the light of truth shines brighter, illuminating the path ahead. The impending battle will be fierce, but it is one that has already been decided. The heir is the rightful ruler. No amount of manipulation or deception will hinder their reclaiming of what was unjustly taken. The time for the old order has passed, and the world will soon witness the conclusion of an era that has long overstayed its welcome. Though they have remained concealed for so long, the heir's influence has flourished with every passing day. Even in their absence, the kingdom has felt the ripple effects of their bloodline's legacy. Each conflict, every moment of discontent, and every political shift were echoes of the heir's latent power, an ebb and flow coursing through the kingdom's veins. The heir is not a passive figure lurking in shadows. They are a force, ready to step into the light, their influence undeniable. Faith in the heir has remained steadfast among the people. They have long anticipated the promise of a brighter future, one that would only emerge when the rightful ruler returned. This belief has fueled revolutions, sparked rebellions, and united the kingdom's scattered factions. The heir's presence has served as a rallying cry, a reason to rise and resist, a beacon of hope shining amidst despair. Though unseen, their essence has directed the course of events for centuries, and now that they are ready to assume their rightful role at the kingdom's helm, that power will be palpable. However, the heir's influence extends beyond the political realm. It is spiritual, emotional, and elemental. The land itself responds to their return, reminiscent of the days when true authority walked its soil. The impending arrival of the heir will awaken hearts thought forever desolate. It will rekindle long-dormant hopes, breathe new life into dreams long forgotten, and restore balance to a world on the brink of fracture. The heir embodies the momentum that will guide the kingdom back to its nobility. As their influence expands, those who once sought to suppress the heir will find their control diminishing. The more the heir asserts their rightful presence, the more the kingdom will shift to favor them. The old powers will soon be confronted with a stunning truth. The heir's rise is not merely probable, it is essential for the kingdom's survival. Their authority transcends political mechanics. It is the very force that will renew and heal a fractured world. The time for waiting is over. The throne, long abandoned, yearning for a worthy sovereign, will finally be reclaimed by its true heir. This is not merely a monarch's return. It is the fulfillment of a prophecy that has traversed centuries. The heir, whose name has been whispered in legends, and whose legacy has endured in the people's hearts, has arrived to reclaim their rightful position at the helm of the kingdom. No longer will they linger in obscurity. They step boldly into the light, heralding the beginning of a new chapter. The kingdom, once lost amidst false rulers and shattered promises, will soon come to know the stability and justice it has yearned for. The heir's return signifies more than a personal victory. It is the resurgence of hope itself. The people, having endured untold suffering under tyrants, will find comfort in the arrival of a leader who truly understands their pain, their struggles, and their dreams. The heir is not a stranger. They are the embodiment of the kingdom's collective aspirations, a living, breathing manifestation of the change the populace has long demanded. As the heir ascends the throne, their power will be undeniable. Yet their true strength lies in their capacity to unite the kingdom. The false leaders, acutely aware their time has dwindled, will scramble to maintain control over the throne. But it will be too late. The heir's rise is a matter of fate, a call to arms, a unifying cry for all who have suffered under the tyranny of the old order. With each resolute step, the heir leads the kingdom closer to the peace and prosperity it rightfully deserves. This ushering in of the true heir marks the dawn of a new era, the end of oppression and the arrival of a world where justice, equality, and compassion reign. The people will stand shoulder to shoulder with their rightful sovereign, united in the knowledge that their true ruler has returned. The throne no longer symbolizes corruption and suffering. It becomes a beacon of hope, a guiding light for all who aspire to a brighter future. As the heir's influence weaves across the land, the old powers, those who believed they controlled the kingdom's fate, will find themselves desperate. The realization that their hold on their thrones, privileges, and ill-gotten power is slipping away forces them into action. They may seek to align themselves with the one chosen by destiny, viewing this alliance as their last resort for survival. Yet, this is no straightforward collaboration. It is a desperate maneuver by those who see their world crumbling around them. The old powers may attempt to manipulate the heir to serve their own ends, but they underestimate the heir's strength. The heir is not a pawn to be moved at will. They are the rightful ruler, intrinsically connected to the people, not to the corrupted elite. Those who have long held dominion through deceit and fear must learn that true power cannot be bought or bartered. It must be earned. The heir will remain unyielded by empty promises or hollow allegiances. For the old powers, this is not a moment for negotiation, but one of reckoning. As they scramble to find their footing in this new world, they will be compelled to confront the consequences of their past actions. The kingdom they once ruled with a firm hand is no longer theirs to command. The people no longer serve them, but stand behind the truth, a truth embodied in the air. The old powers are losing their grasp, and as they act desperately for survival, the heir moves closer to ultimate victory. There will undoubtedly be those who will fight to the bitter end, convinced they can retain their status in this transformed world, but their efforts will be in vain. The heir's rise is not a question of possibility, it is an inevitability. Those who once occupied the pinnacle of power will find themselves sidelined, a mere fraction of their former influence. The age of manipulation has drawn to a close. The chosen one is poised to claim what is rightfully theirs. The path to reclaiming the throne may not be devoid of challenges. The heir may be destined for greatness, but their journey will certainly be fraught with peril. Many will resist their ascent, not out of a desire for the throne, but from fear of losing everything they have built. The old order will not yield easily. They will fight, they will scheme, and they will attempt to undermine the heir at every juncture. The challenges the heir faces are not confined to the external. They are deeply woven into the very fabric of the kingdom's essence, entwined within its people and its identity. The heir will encounter betrayal from those presumed to be allies, face political machinations from those wishing to undermine their claim. But the heir is not unprepared. They embody the culmination of centuries of struggle, forged in the fires of adversity. Each obstacle becomes an opportunity to demonstrate strength, to rise higher, and to bolster their rightful claim as the true ruler. They will not be dissuaded by fear or deceit. They are the living embodiment of destiny, and no force, no matter its might, can extinguish that inner flame. Through trials and tribulations, the heir's resolve will only intensify. With each challenge faced, each betrayal endured, they will learn the true price of leadership and the burden of the crown, comprehending the sacrifices necessary to restore the kingdom to its rightful place. They will not waver. The people will rally around them, their desire unwavering to inspire a new generation of leaders ready to stand together in unity at Chosen One's sanctuary. In the battle for a brighter future, the challenges are immense. The heir understands that they are not alone. The people stand strong beside them, ready to fight for their rights, their hopes, and their shared destiny. Together, they will confront the storm, and when the tempest passes, the heir will emerge victorious, their place upon the throne affirmed, their kingdom restored. The journey of the heir has never been easy. Instead, it has been crafted through adversity right from their origins, hidden in the shadows away from those who sought to control them. The heir has been molded in the fires of struggle. Every trial faced, every hardship endured, has served as a vital stepping stone toward the destiny that lies ahead. The heir has been tested in ways unfathomable to most, but it is this very struggle that has shaped them into the leader they are destined to become. A beacon capable of guiding the kingdom through its darkest trials. Yet their struggles extend beyond the physical realm. They resonate deeply within the emotional and psychological landscape. Each decision, each sacrifice, has contributed to the delicate balance that prepares them for the monumental tasks that await. They have been instilled with the strength of conviction, coupled with the humility of spirit. They understand that true power lies not in control or domination, but in serving the greater good, even if it means personal sacrifice. This profound realization has illuminated the heirs' path throughout their journey. It is this wisdom that empowers them to break the chains of oppression and restore harmony to the land. The heir must navigate a world rife with deception, betrayal, and fear. Yet, in the depths of darkness, they have discovered their own light. In moments of silence, they have come to appreciate the profound value of their voice. Each challenge has made them wiser, more attuned to the pulse of the people, and more resolute in their quest for justice for the long silenced. Through these trials, they have unearthed the essence of true leadership, not as a title or privilege, but as an earnest responsibility to those who look to them for hope. The furnace of struggle has toughened the heirs' spirit, rendering them unyielding in the face of adversity. Every hardship they've faced has been essential, preparing them for the enormous task of reclaiming the throne. As they step forward, they are no longer merely the lost heir. They stand now as the true ruler, forged by hardship and steered by destiny, ready to usher in the change long awaited by the kingdom. In the quiet moments of history, change often begins subtly, almost imperceptibly, yet ultimately becomes undeniable. The kingdom has been shackled by an old regime, one that cultivated its power through fear, manipulation, and the suffering of its people for generations. This system seemed unassailable, its leaders seemingly beyond reproach. But the shift can occur in just one moment, one pivotal turning point, and the gates of the old order begin to crumble. That moment is now. The heir's return has set the stage for this momentous upheaval, as if the very foundations of the kingdom tremble with anticipation. The air is thick with a sense of imminent transformation, as if the earth itself has long awaited this historic occasion. As the heir makes their presence known, those who once governed with arrogance and disdain for the common folk begin to crumble beneath the first tremors of the approaching storm. Their once absolute grip on power now feels tenuous and fleeting. This is not merely the downfall of a monarchy. It signifies the unraveling of an entire lifestyle built on lies and deception. The heir's ascent will engender a profound metamorphosis in how the kingdom operates. The people, once muted and oppressed, will rediscover their voices, demanding their rights, freedom, and dignity. The gates of the old order are irrevocably fracturing, with no chance of retreat. As the walls of the past tumble, new opportunities will arise. It will be a season of rebuilding, allowing the people to reshape their world based on fairness, equity, and unity. Yet, change rarely comes easily. The heir will encounter resistance both from within the kingdom and from external forces. Nevertheless, amidst the crumbling foundations, the heir's resolve will remain steadfast. They hold the key to the kingdom's future, and nothing will obstruct their path as they lead the charge toward a new era. What is a storm if not the genesis of something new? A force of nature that quakes the ground, reshapes landscapes, and leaves behind a world transformed. The heir's rise is not merely a political event, but a storm of change, an unrelenting force that will irrevocably alter the kingdom's fate. As the heir steps into their role, they unleash a wave of transformation that will cascade across the land, toppling the old ways and clearing the path for the new. The heir's presence resembles the initial gust of wind preceding a storm, gaining strength and becoming more undeniable with each passing moment. The weakened old order will be taken by surprise at the speed and power of the heir's reawakening. what was once deemed immutable is now disintegrating, its foundations eroded by the unstoppable tide of the air's vision. The air exudes energy, charged with the anticipation of what is to come. The kingdom stands on the cusp of a revolution, a reformation of all that was once taken for granted. Yet, storms by their nature can be unpredictable. As the air rises, so too will the chaos that accompanies change. Those who stand unwilling to yield may rally against the transformation, seeking to combat the storm with the dwindling remnants of their power. The populace will find themselves torn between the familiarity of the old and the promise of a brighter new dawn. The heir must navigate this tumultuous landscape with both wisdom and determination, understanding that this tempest is not only necessary, but inevitable. Ultimately, the storm of transformation will pass, but the world it leaves behind will be irrevocably different. The heir's ascent will etch an indelible legacy of strength, bravery, and unity upon the kingdom. The storm will have paved the way for a new age, one where the people rise as sovereigns in their own right. At the core of this renaissance stands the royal heir, their power unshakable, their purpose fulfilled. For centuries, the kingdom has been ensnared by illusions, deceit spun by those in power to maintain their dominion, keeping the people blind to reality. These illusions, built upon lies and deception, have kept the masses in a prolonged state of submission. Yet the return of the royal heir serves as a disruptive force against all of this. The heir embodies not just leadership, they represent the catalyst that will dismantle these illusions, breaking the chains that have ensnared the kingdom for far too long. The heir's return awakens a reality check, a reminder that truth cannot remain cloaked forever. The lies intricately woven into the fabric of the kingdom will begin to unravel, one thread at a time. The people will pierce through the smokescreen of propaganda and manipulation, recognizing that the very system which has oppressed them for so long stands on a foundation of empty pledges and falsehoods. They will rise and boldly demand change. This disruption will not occur without resistance, as those who have thrived in the old regime will do everything in their power to sustain the illusion. They will cling to their diminishing power, even as it ebbs away. However, the heir is relentless, and the truth is unyielding. With each step the heir takes to disrupt the illusions, the populace will awaken to their intrinsic power. The heir's rise signifies not merely the reclamation of a crown, but the reclamation of reality itself, dismantling the facade that has held the kingdom in captivity. As the illusions begin to fragment, a new world will take form, one where truth, justice, and freedom flourish. The heir will take the helm, guiding the kingdom through the ruins of what was, leading them to the dawn of a new era. As the final remnants of the past dissolve, the kingdom will finally emerge from centuries of oppression, liberated from the grip of those who sought to control its fate. The moment has finally arrived. The lost heir has returned, bringing the promise of restoring a kingdom long fractured, divided, and governed by corruption. What was once assumed lost has been reclaimed, and the heir's ascension to the throne marks the beginning of a new age. This is not merely the restoration of a leader, it is the resurrection of hope, of belief, of a future once thought out of reach. The kingdom awaiting the heir's return is not the same as the one they once departed. It is a land scarred by tyranny, its people weary and disillusioned. Yet the heir's arrival ignites a flicker of renewal, a promise that change is on the horizon. Under their guidance, the kingdom will begin to mend. The wounds of the past will gradually heal, and the people will reconstruct what has been lost. This is a season of restoration, a time to not only reclaim a throne, but to rejuvenate the very soul of the kingdom. The heir will encounter numerous trials ahead as they strive to amend the wrongs of history. Yet they will not travel this path alone. The people, united in their yearning for a brighter future, will stand steadfast alongside their true ruler. Together, they will reclaim the kingdom piece by piece, restoring its former glory. The heir's return signifies the start of a new chapter, one imbued with promise, potential, and boundless possibilities. This narrative does not end here. It is merely the beginning. The heir's return has laid the groundwork for a radiant future, a reunified, resilient kingdom once more. As the first rays of a new dawn illuminate the land, the people will turn to their rightful ruler with hope and anticipation in their hearts, knowing that the kingdom has finally returned home again. For generations, there have been whispers, soft and elusive, beckoning for the awakening. In distant epochs whispered of in hushed tones, there existed an ancient prophecy, foretelling a time when the kingdom would see its restoration, facilitated by a long-hidden heir. This heir, concealed within the dusty scrolls of lore and passed down through muted conversations, has for centuries lingered like an ethereal thread woven through the tapestry of the kingdom's history. A tale doubted by many, yet undeniably present. Today, as the heir steps forth, this prophecy transforms from mere legend into a living reality, unfolding before the very eyes of a hopeful realm. What was once shrouded in mystery and skepticism now stands as a cornerstone of hope for those who have endured the weight of oppression under a tyrannical ruling class. It foretold of a leader, a luminary emerging from the shadows, someone destined to shatter the chains of bondage that have ensnared the kingdom's populace and restore harmony to a world veering towards chaos. Those who once relegated the prophecy to the realm of fantasy are now confronted with its profound truth, as the awaited heir rises to fulfill the ancient declarations long awaited by the heart of the kingdom. This prophecy holds significance far greater than a mere foretelling. It embodies the deepest hopes and yearnings of the people, the yearning for a champion who would rise and reclaim what has been unjustly taken. It is an invitation to a new dawn, a vision of a kingdom where the oppressed are empowered to find their voices, where justice prevails and compassion reigns. The heir, as guided by fate, is the key that unlocks this horizon of possibility. And with every step taken toward the throne, the kingdom inches closer to its long overdue revival. As the heir's presence is felt like a fresh breeze through the land, the kingdom finds itself at a pivotal crossroads. No longer are they simply questioning whether the prophecy will come to fruition. Rather, they ponder how they will answer the call of destiny that awaits them. This journey is not merely about reclaiming a crown. It is an odyssey of rediscovering an entire legacy. The heir stands as the embodiment of all the aspirations the people have harbored, and their ascent marks the beginning of a new chapter, one inscribed with the courage and sacrifice of those who refused to let the prophecy slip into oblivion. At the core of this kingdom lies a narrative forgotten by time, a narrative of a royal lineage that once governed with wisdom, strength, and heartfelt compassion. Over the years, the royal family faded into whispers of myth and legend, their memory buried under the weight of deceit and betrayal. Yet, with the heir's return comes the thrilling rediscovery of this lost bloodline, an ancestry pivotal to restoring the kingdom to its former grandeur. The royal legacy, it turns out, was never fully extinguished. Rather, it was concealed, buried deep by those who manipulated the kingdom with fear to maintain control. Now, as the heir emerges from the shadows, they bring forth the extraordinary richness of their ancestry, steeped in wisdom, honor, and a profound connection to the very land itself. This bloodline symbolizes far more than authority. It is the true spirit of the kingdom, waiting to awaken. As the heir unravels the mysteries of their lineage, they begin to comprehend the magnitude of their responsibilities. It transcends simply reclaiming a throne. It is about reviving a legacy dormant for centuries. The wisdom accumulated through generations holds the answers necessary to confront the kingdom's most pressing challenges, and the heir's mission is to resurrect this ancient knowledge, restoring balance to a world that so desperately craves it. The rediscovery of this royal bloodline is not merely a personal journey for the heir, it is a quest that resonates with every citizen of the kingdom. As the people comprehend their true history, a wave of empowerment surges through the land, prompting them to rally alongside the heir, reclaiming their dignity and sense of purpose. Together, they strive to honor the legacy of those who forged the path before them, crafting a future worthy of the royal bloodline's resurgence. Yet, behind every legend lies an unseen force, those who labor in shadows, silent guardians ensuring the story transpires as fate intended. For centuries, a clandestine order of keepers has safeguarded the lost heir, watching over them with unwavering vigilance, protecting their destiny against those who would threaten the kingdom's future. These guardians, known only to a privileged few, have discreetly guided the heir on their journey, preparing them for the impending trials while ensuring that the rightful ruler would once again seize their destiny. These hidden protectors are more than mere sentinels. They are the carriers of ancient wisdom, the ones who have kept hope alive through the ages. They have handed down knowledge, equipping the heir for the myriad challenges they will confront. As the heir approaches their anticipated return, the guardians step forth from obscurity, prepared to fight fiercely for the future they have long envisioned. In this moment of reckoning, we invite you to join our steadfast community at Chosen One's sanctuary. Together we stand unified in hope, prepared to witness the unfolding of destiny. Like, subscribe, and engage with us as we journey together toward a future rich with promise and profound potential. The heir's saga is but the beginning, an extraordinary tale of reclamation, of awakening a legacy, and of collective triumph. Together, let us weave the fabric of a new dawn,